Hello, everyone, and welcome to another light novel review. I am the Rat, and this is The Rat's Nest. Today, we have a volume that I quite enjoyed. I think I said that at the beginning of most stuff. Mushoku Tensei, Volume 13. This is a goodie. It's Mushoku Tensei. They're always goodies, right? This volume was very, very good, right? So, it was a slice of life volume, right? Each chapter being a different little story, right? All compiled into this volume. It's kind of giving us an idea of, okay, Rudeus. Spoiler alerts for all of Mushoku Tensei, by the way. Not just through volume 13, through all of it. You know what you call it. So yeah, we've gotten out of the way. Yeah, cool. So organized. Just kind of, getting to see Rudeus' life after Paul dies, and just kind of, getting used to that, and kind of just being in there, and just all right, you got two wives, let's go. Definitely different from the from volume 12, which just focused on, okay, we're here, we're rescuing Zenith, Paul dies, that whole thing. A difference from that, and from volume 11, which was the first half being Norn and the second half being them getting to Begarit to go help Paul with Turning Point 3. Funny turning point. So this was definitely just a return kind of to form, similar to 8, 9, and 10, and I enjoyed it. I'm typically not a huge slice of life guy, but it's Mushoku Tensei, so I love these characters. Love getting to see them in their different elements and situations that they're going on for. So I really enjoyed this volume. Just good, obviously, knowing, the next two volumes we've got some action coming, right? So I can appreciate the breathing room between 12 and 14 there. And then I admittedly can't remember specifically about 16 off the top of my head. It's been a second, so I have read through the entire web novel of Mushoku Tensei. I've read Old Dragon's Tale, Oblige, Redundancy, all that good stuff. So this is my first time reading through the light novels, and it's been a second since I read through this stuff, so I can't remember exactly what Volume 16 material is going to be. But Volume 13 material was really good, so let's just get right into it, shall we? So let's see. So coming in with the chapters, right? Our first little chapter here that we had was Roxy's new job. This was an enjoyable one, right? Roxy becoming a professor. At this point, congrats, you can start reading the Roxy Gets Serious side story, right? Because this is what it spoils. Funny. But yeah, so it's just good to see her, meet back up with Genus, kind of, get back on friendly terms with him. Good to see her get a job. Cool. She's getting herself established, right? She's been reintroduced to the story. Let's get her to a point where she's established for the rest of the story, right? Because this is her job. She does a good thing with it. So yeah, it's enjoyable. Then we have training with Norn. Norn wants to learn the sword. Cool, right? I think it's interesting look at her character. To see that she's determined to do this. Obviously, she never really becomes a swordsman. But just it's the thought that counts, and it also shows just how much Paul meant her, and that she wants to use the sword that he gave her. And so Rudeus kind of stepping in here as a Paul-like figure. I think it was very interesting to see, again, this being right after Paul's death. I think that it was really cool to get to see, okay, Rudeus this was he's the man of the household now, right? And this is where we, I think, first kind of get to see him step into that, like, okay, I'm the head of the household. I'm going to, help Norn out. I'm going to train with her, right? I'm going to teach her the sword in Paul's place. So that was fun to see. And the Norn fan club, of course. That's always enjoyable. And then we get the Can I Keep Him with Aisha and what's the treant's name? Can't remember the treant's name off the top of my head. Interesting enough little side story, right? Adds another pet to the Grey Rat household with their infamous pets, right? With Jiro, and later on with the legendary dog with Lara. Just introduction to that. Cool to see Aisha some more. Not a terrible amount to say with that. Paternal dignity. So here we get to see him kind of fawning over Lucy, right? And this is reintroduction of Suzanne, if I'm remembering her name correctly. And I believe that I am. Good old Suzanne. Yeah. Suzanne, good old Suzanne. Kind of her reintroduction, obviously last seen in Volume 7. Now airing in the anime, right? I have no clue when this episode is going to let out, but the anime is currently airing, so good to see her again, right? So her reintroduction as a wet nurse, obviously she was in the web novel as well, and so, kind of seeing her in Volume 7, reading through the first time, I was like, well, it's the lady, right? It's good to see her again. Obviously later we get Sarah again, which I really enjoyed. But just kind of, Rudeus talking to her now at this different point in his life and talking about his daughter. Getting to see Zenith too. We have that amazing art, which was probably one of my favorite volume artworks in Mushoku Tensei of Rudeus showing Lucy to Zenith. It's really good artwork. I really do enjoy all the stuff. It's sad that Paul was never able to meet his grandkids, but I'm glad that Zenith can. Even if it's kind of out of whack, maybe not in the way that people would like her to, But I do really enjoy that artwork. It was just cool, kind of get to, his thoughts on parenting and being a father and all that, and just getting to see that. It was fun. I always love the Mushoku Tensei stuff that deals with Rudeus' kids. It's always really fun. I'm really looking forward to getting to some of the later volumes, and especially once Redundancy itself is formally published, all his light novels. Cannot wait to see Oblige published. I hope Oblige is published as its own story. It'd be cool if it was just another Redundancy story, though. But I would like to see Oblige published as its own standalone. Same with Old Dragon's Tale. I hope that Rifujin gets to that at some point. That'd be really cool. But I love everything with his kids. I think that it's always a ton of fun. I'm even looking forward to the Ars and Aisha Redundancy story. That's a video for another time. Yeah, look. That's a really good story. All right, that's a video for another. That's my hot take of the video. Right, that's a story for another time. So after that, we have a Water King is born. Rudeus finally becomes a Water King. Cool, right? I suppose officially, he can call himself one. We have whenever he fought Body saying, oh, that stone bullet you used, like that's equivalent to Emperor level magic. Cool, right? So Rudeus has basically already been a Water Emperor and an Earth Emperor, but here he is officially getting the title of Water King. Officially learning a Water King type spell, and he modifies for himself, and so it was cool to see. Finally we're here. Volume 13, he ranks up to Water King. After Volume 1, he got Water Saint. So this was a long time coming. It was cool to see Roxy kind of teach him and kind of get to be her like, she doesn't really want to like say too much, right? She's got a little bit reluctant, but she teaches him, and Sylphie can't really do it. So Rudeus is a Water King. It's interesting. Roxy is nothing more than she can teach him again. So it was a good little side story, just keeping up with him. Then we have Cliff and Ellen Elise's wedding. This was a fun story. I mean, all of these were fun, right? This was a fun story. Getting to see Ellen Elise, get married is like, oh, haha, funny. But I really like Cliff and Ellen Elise. I always enjoy it when series have, isekais and such. Series like Mushoku Tensei, when they have the main character have guy friends, because that's very rare in a lot of cases. And so I always enjoy getting to see Cliff and Zenobia. They're two of my favorite characters. I do quite love them. And so getting to see Cliff and Ellen Elise get married, and then knowing, later on they'll have Clive and all that. Well, I don't know if Clive is his official English name, but Clive, right? Knowing that, it's fun. It's a fun little thing to see their wedding and all that, and then obviously sets up later Roxy kind of wanting a little ceremony. But before that, we have a lucky man. Rudeus has a threesome. That's it. That's the chapter. But here they're planning the party, and so they go out shopping, and Rudeus has a threesome. Based Riz Deus Gray Riz, bro. He's going crazy. That's so dumb. Oh my gosh, but fun, right? Slice of life stuff. The party. This was a fun thing. Oh yeah, I'll say that for all of them. I enjoyed the party, right? Getting to see Norn and Aisha and Rudeus, kind of again step more into the head of the household role here. Planning and hosting the party, and then saying the words at the beginning, like, hey, we're back together. We said we'd hold a party. We never did. Here we are, right? Also, happy birthday, Norn and Aisha. They get their stuff, and then Roxy gets her new hat. And that was really nice. That's a really nice artwork that's in there. Remembering that. And then Roxy being like, that was the time that I really felt like Sylphie finally accepted me. It's like, that's nice. Just a nice family thing, getting to see everyone interact. Zinna smiles for the first time. If I'm remembering correctly, I think that's how it's written, is that she smiled for the first time here, and then she smiles a lot more after. And so that's fun, right? Obviously, knowing Zenith never gets wholly better, but you know, it's the little things, right? It's very fun. I truly really did enjoy it. Workplace drama. So this is where we get back to Sarah. Just cool. This was light novel original. I don't remember anything like this in the web novel, though it has been a second. This was really good. I really enjoyed getting to see Rudeus and Sarah meet back up. Obviously, Sarah being in the anime right now and being fresh on everyone's minds. It was really cool to get to see her and Rudeus interact, and just for to see how different they both were after this time has passed, and to see Rudeus initially dodge her and then finally go up to her and just talk very honestly about himself and his feelings. And I loved his admission. He was like, I don't think I ever really loved you. I was just in a tough spot, and I thought I could help. It just shows how much he's grown. It shows how much he's matured, over the past couple of years. And, again, showing how much he's matured even just in a volume, right? Because he's a father now. He's head of the household, right? All that good stuff. I think that you could see it all here. I think it was a great character moment. Good to see Sarah again, right? Just fun to see them. Sarah's also a very interesting character in that she's the only girl that Rudeus had a relationship with that he doesn't marry. Because you have Sylphie, Roxy, and Eris that he does in fact marry. His relationship with Ariel was never romantic, so I won't count her. But it's interesting, right, to see the one that got away, right? Sarah thinks she's part of the team, but it was I did really enjoy this, getting to see just his character growth and how mature he's gotten since then. It's good to see Sarah again. I'm looking forward. I think she shows up in volume 23. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing her again and seeing how she how that works, right? To see how that works going forward with her. I wonder if there will be anything else. I don't think there will be, but there could be, right? It'll be interesting to see. Graduation day, I really enjoyed this too. Linea and Persona, or linear if you're the manga. That's the funniest thing to me is that the manga. Well, they got it right for a volume, right? Her introductory volume in the manga, they translated it as Linea, right? Or you could call her Rinea if you're a light novel fan. I call her Linea. That's what I say. But then the manga translates it as linear. Like, I know that it's like linear, but it's like linear. It's like linear. I get it. That doesn't mean I'm gonna call her linear, right? So you got Linea and Persona. I think they call Persona like Prusena or something. Prusena. I mean, I guess it's just a slight difference in pronunciation. I call her Persona. You get their little fight, and that they've been kind of little jokey characters throughout the past couple of volumes, but you do really enjoy them. And so getting to see them graduate, I also think that this shows the passing of time really well, because it's like they're kind of out of the story for a little bit. I remember when I first read this in the web novel, I was like, dang, like they're probably gone. We might see them back a little bit later, and then they do come back, right? Both of them. Or I thought, at least we might see Linea later and Persona. But I think we get to see both of them. I know, if nothing else, Linea is in volume 18. And becomes the Grey Rat maid for a little bit, and then they kind of follow eyes. It's all fun. But this little fight was really fun because I think it serves as a good, conclusion to their character arcs. I'd say Linea feels like the more developed one than Persona, but I'm personally more of a Persona fan than Linea. Bite me. That's so true. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was fun getting to see them fight Rudeus's little commentary on it. Nana Hoshi being there is always fun. I'm a big fan of Nana. She's another one of my favorite characters. I do love me some Nana Hoshi. And, so them talking and just the whole interactions that they had with everyone, I really enjoyed getting to see their characters. And nothing fits their characters more than running into each other on the same, stagecoach, bus, whatever. That is always a hilarious point to me. That nothing fits their characters more. It's just this entire part was really good. This is probably one of my favorite stories from this book. Then we get Phase 4. And so this is where we get to see Nana, Hoshi, and Rudea succeed in summoning a watermelon. So just, more Nana Hoshi, more of her stuff. She summoned a living thing from the other world. That's a pretty big success. We know because it's seedless. Really cool stuff. I think this being at the end kind of, precurses Nana Hoshi's being really big in Volume 14 with her magic sickness that they have to get the stuff for from Atofe, however you want to say her name. I think her being here at the end, it's fun. Like I said, I like seeing Nana Hoshi. I'm glad that she's making progress, right? Again, it's weird that it's been 3 years, right? Rudea is finally 18 as of this volume. So he's officially an adult by our standards, right? But it's weird that it's been 3 years. Time flies, right? And time's just going to keep flying. We get to see a little bit of her sickness, where they celebrate, and Rudea's been having to use detoxification magic on her. But it was a really fun story, and I can't wait to see her a lot more next volume. I think Volume 14 is another one of my favorites. I mean, Volume 15, right? Volume 14, Volume 15 kind of run together. They're all turning point 4. So I think sometimes maybe Nana Hoshi's involvement at the beginning of 14 could be a little understated, because turning point 4 obviously overshadows that. But I really like it. I can talk more on that in my Volume 14 review whenever I read that. So, yeah. Finally, the extra chapter, Sharpening the Mad Dog's Sword. Good to see Eris again, right? What she's getting up to. We finally get introduced to Reda and Isolde. I don't know. I'll call her Isolde. I'll call her that. Right. Just getting introduced to them and getting Eris proper training partners with her and Nina. All three of them together training against each other. Isolde, the Water King, right? It's a fun little chapter, right? We get to see Eris have a little bit of progression where she's like, where she hits the wall. Right, because she trounced Nina. She still trounces Nina. At the same time, she radiates aggression, and that's a weakness. And so it's especially a weakness against the Water God style. And Orsted being a user of the Water God style, right? Or the Water God fighting style. That's very interesting. To see Eris meet her match and to see Nina beat Isolde pretty easy, right? That was really cool. Really cool to see the dynamic there. Like the water, fire, grass Pokemon typing. Everyone beats the other and loses to one, right? It's fun to see. I said took a couple months for them to catch up with her, but Eris is well on her way to becoming a Sword King, right? We just got one more volume. We're almost there. Next volume is turning point 4, right? We're almost there. But just fun to kind of catch up with her a little bit, get introduced to Nina and Isolde, which are, we've already been introduced to Nina, but to see them, and you get introduced to Reda too, obviously, as a part to play in Light Novel 17. Just a very fun extra chapter to cap off what I think is a very good volume. Big slice of life volume, right? Every chapter a different story, some more important than others, but all of them were a lot of fun. Just kind of keeping up with the gray rats, right? A nice little breath of fresh air between Volume 12 and Volume 14. So with that said, yes, Volume 14 review will be coming out eventually. The next light novel review that I post will be Reign of the Seven Spellblades Volume 7, which I'm currently reading because, darn it, I love Reign of the Seven Spellblades. I'm going to read it. But Volume 14 will come. And then Volume 15 will be immediately after Volume 14. It's literally impossible to read Volume 14 and then not read Volume 15 immediately after. Right? Turning point 4. Yeah, right? So, well, if you're this far in the video, obviously there's something you like. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what your favorite chapter from this volume was. Tell me which part of the Slice of Life book you guys enjoyed. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye.